start in probably 10 more minutes. So can you all hear me? Please send in the chat. Yes, if you can hear me.
Yes, Mr. Indy, can hear you. Yeah, nice to hear your voice.
Hey, Nava, how are you, man?
I'm fine, bro.
Thanks for your response.
Okay, my students will be joining in soon. They will be coming in.
Awesome.
All
Very
right.
good. Very good.
Okay, sound test. Sound test, sound test. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Hi, hello. Good morning. I am Indy. Thank you for being here, investing your time today. Allow me to introduce you to Sri, who is our trainer for today. Sri has 14 years of experience as a corporate trainer, and over the years, she realized one thing. Developing one skill set in today's world has become compulsory. With step-by-step techniques on why and how to do it, everyone can upgrade their skills to benefit their work and personal lives. Sri, who has trained notable CEOs and their teams across Malaysia, has always kept her workshop simple and packed with many real-life examples as possible. She is a certified NLP trainer and a master coach. During her master certification program in Bangkok, which was attended by more than 80 nationalities across the world, she was awarded the NLP Superstar. I can go on and on, but I think this will do for now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sri Devi Panchachara.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everyone turn up. So, to you early birds who made here just perfectly on time, thank you so much for being here today. I am extremely excited to speak about this topic, so much so that even last night I could feel my mind racing because I have so much to share, so much to give today, and I would like you to thank you for taking this 1 hour, investing this 1 hour together with us. And we don't have much time. I have so much to say, so please allow me to jump straight in. So we are here today to speak about people, right? We are here today to speak about how we can get along with people. Now, I just want to quickly clarify to the 58 of you who are here today that when we speak about getting along with people, please remember, I don't mean that everyone needs to be our best friend. I don't mean that we need to love everybody. I don't mean that we need to agree with everybody. What we mean by let's get along is despite our differences, despite our conflict in our belief system, our value system, we find a way to be cordial with each other. We find a way to accept other people. We find a way to respect people. We find a way to just be kind with people. So those of you early birds who are here today, early birds, you probably had a chance to watch the video. Remember, there was a video that I screened at the beginning, so you had a chance to watch the video, and that's exactly what the video was telling us, isn't it? The video was telling us about being kind. So whenever after a webinar like this, whether I conduct a live seminar or a webinar, for topics like this, you know what happens? People usually will ask me, Sri, all this is great, but how do I go back to my life and make sure that my boss gets along with me? How do I go back to my family and make sure that my husband or wife doesn't fight with me so much, right? Or how do I make sure that my best friend who hasn't been talking to me for the last 2 years talks to me? So, ladies and gentlemen, this program is about you. So, whatever that you are taking from this program, remember to start with yourself. Remember to make that change within yourself. And whatever techniques that we are going to be discussing today is for the betterment of you. All right. So I would like to share with you how I have designed this program. So I spent about 2 weeks thinking about how to pack in as much value as possible for you. And I think that I finally was able to do it. I hope that it is up to your satisfaction. If it is not, I apologize. I also like to make a very quick disclaimer right here. When we are speaking about people, right? There may be some of you who would be like, yeah, Sri, I agree with you. And then there would be some of you who will be like, Sri, I don't really agree lah, I don't think this works that way. If you agree with me, fantastic. You don't agree with me, cool. It's all good. That is the whole foundation of getting along, right? We agree to disagree. So take what makes sense to you, and those you feel doesn't apply to you, that's okay. Just let it go, okay? So this is how I have designed the program. It is applicable to whatever relationships that we want to talk about. So whether it's from your family or whether it's from your career, it is all going to be very relevant to you, yeah? So this program has been designed in 3 segments. The first segment, we are going to learn how to understand people. Actually, we are going to go a little deeper, and we are going to try to understand why sometimes working around people gets a little bit challenging. Why sometimes working with people is not as easy as we hope it will be. Why do people get unreasonable according to us, right? Why do people get unreasonable sometimes? So we're going to be exploring these areas. And then we will be speaking about why should we take an effort to get along, right? Because a lot of times some of us will think like, why should I get along? Ask that person to get along with me lah. Why should I get along? So here we will be exploring 4 reasons on why we should get along. And finally, the last bit, the juicy part, is 5 practical tips on how we can actually get along with whoever we want to get along, okay? So as you know, if I were to start off this program, I want to go back about 30 over years. Okay, I sound really old right now, but I want to go back many, many, many years. And I want to talk to you about a few issues. And oh yeah, before we get started, just a few agreements for us to make sure that we run smoothly over the next hour. First things first, although there is a webinar, I would like you to participate fully, okay? So if you see there is a keyboard sign there, which means that what I need you guys to do is actively participate. So if I ask you for some feedback, please feel free to let me know, because otherwise I don't know whether you guys are there or not, right? So also have a pen and paper with you, because a pen and paper is one of the best way for you to remember, or if you have a question, you can write it down and ask us at the end of this webinar. And you guys are all adults, and usually how webinars are handled by people is they will just let the trainer speak, they will minimize Zoom, and what they will be doing is doing their own thing, replying their emails and doing their stuff, okay? So if you guys end up doing that, of course you will not get the maximum benefit from this program. So I humbly request that stop whatever else you guys are doing, invest the next 1 hour in this program, because I can assure you that it is going to be fruitful, okay? So coming back to my 30 odd years ago, I remember that there was this one day in Kindy where I got into an argument with my then best friend. I don't know where she is right now, but my then best friend, right? So we got an argument over a pencil or an eraser or what it is. I'm not sure what it is, but we kind of got into an argument. And I told her, I don't friend you. And in the language of children, I don't friend you is fatal, right? It means that I don't want to friend you, I don't want to see you ever again. But the beauty about the situation was, I think about 5 to 10 minutes later, we were all playing again lah. We were all playing, life was good, we forgot about what happened that 5 minutes before that, and everything was great. Ironically, for adults, it's not quite the same, isn't it? For adults, the moment we get into an argument, it kind of builds up. It's remembered. We kind of hold on to it for many years to come, and we will keep talking about it, we will keep remembering it. We forget to accept someone with weakness. The moment there is a moment of weakness, we kind of judge them for it, right? So what we really want to take on here is, how do we go back those days? How do we go back those days where we can replicate that childhood behavior of being more forgiving? Okay, so this is when we want to speak about adults. We want to understand results. We want to kind of figure out what is it that makes adults unreasonable. So here is where I will need a little bit of your input. So if you guys can tap and type into the chat box, if you can see your chat box over there. So just write down in the chat box for me, why do people get unreasonable? Why is it that people sometimes are hard to get along with? So I'm having a look at the chat box and I'm looking forward to see your responses. Why is it hard to sometimes get along with people? Okay, very nice. I see ego, selfish, very good. Expectations not met, emotions and ego, jealousy. Yeah, they have other issues. You can't get along with everyone because thinking is different. Judgmental, seniority, grudge. Yeah, different values during upbringing, very good. You see how ego keeps coming back again and again. I notice a lot of you are saying that. Yeah, emo. I think someone kind of scribbled on my screen. Can we undo that? Okay. All right, so yeah, and you think you're always right, isn't it? So interesting. So there are many reasons on why sometimes we tend to have this, or why sometimes we tend to hold on to this. So if you were to look at it, there are multiple reasons on why someone gets unreasonable. And here in the screen, you will notice that there are several reasons. And some of it you guys have already mentioned. So stress, ego, different values and beliefs that came from the time we were childhood till our adulthood. We all have different values and beliefs, different personalities, different expectations, and also sometimes we have that sense of entitlement. That belief that, you know, people should agree with me because I'm the boss. People should agree with me because I'm the oldest in the family, or I am senior, or I am elderly. So that sense of entitlement. So there are many reasons why this happens. Now, I am actually going to share with you something quite interesting, because as much as a lot of us believe that these are the reasons, as I studied this topic a little deeper, as I tried to understand root cause, as I tried to dwell deeper and deeper and deeper into it, I uncovered this particular area which kind of explains why people sometimes get shockingly unreasonable. Like you are like, you got so sensitive over something so small, like come on, you know, and you're thinking, come on, you're an adult and you're behaving like a child. So let's talk about that root cause. And you know, me being me, right? I don't like just giving you the answers, so I like to play a little game. So this is actually the root cause for me and the way I look at it. For a majority of people, this could be the reason. So go ahead and try and guess the word. What do you think it is? Susah, is it? If it's a little difficult, let me give you another clue. Feeling? Good try. Reflection. Good try. Upbringing. You will just need to fill up that blanks on the screen that you guys see. Wow, Jas, congratulations. The rest of you, very good try. I must say, very good try. The answer that I have for you this morning, congratulations Jas, is rejection. So have you guys heard of rejection? The feeling of rejection, understanding rejection. So here's the thing. A lot of us have heard of this term rejection. Maybe we have not paid attention to it. So what I'm about to share with you has completely changed my perspective of understanding people. And now I truly believe that I can understand people so much better. What is rejection, right? When do we feel rejection? So this is the thing. Imagine you are sitting down in a social setting, right? Whether it's a business meeting or a social meeting. So there's one person talking, and you notice that this person who is talking is making eye contact with everybody except you. Now, you will automatically feel a little bit of discomfort. You're like, why is that person not looking at me, right? Now, that is a very minor feeling of rejection. And then it can be something else, you know. It's Friday, like today, you are very excited, TGIF, right? So you're very excited, and you text one of your best friends and you say, hey, you know what? Let's go out tonight. And your best friend does not respond. Takes a long time to respond. And you are waiting and waiting, and you're thinking, what lah, you know, like, I sent you a message and you don't even respond, you know, and now you're slowly building up a little bit of an irritation, right? And then when finally he or she does respond and say, hey, you know, sorry, I can't do today because, you know, I have some plans. Another rejection, a double rejection. And what happens now is you will probably maybe end up saying something like, you merajuk a bit lah, you know, you get a little bit sensitive, and then you say, no lah, it's okay lah, never mind, maybe another time, you know, something along those lines. And you are carrying a minor negative emotion, and that negative emotion sometimes can be translated inside that conversation. Now, your best friend may pick it up and be like, come on lah, you know, I didn't mean it that way, and now you get a little bit sensitive about it. Now, why did this sensitivity happen? It happened because of the feeling of rejection. So you notice how rejection can stem from something so minor as lack of eye contact, not replying a text. It can also be to something pretty major, like being looked over for a promotion and someone younger than you, more junior than you, got promoted over you. That could be a feeling of rejection. Or in a relationship or a love relationship where the person you truly love, the love of your life, has moved on with someone else. Now, that could also create a little bit of a feeling of rejection. Of course, that's a much larger level. But this is why it's important for us to understand, what is this rejection? Why is it important for us to understand? What does it create, right? So as we understood major rejection, there is major and minor rejections, right? So I gave you some examples of that. We also need to know that human beings, naturally, we have a fundamental need to belong. We always feel that we need to belong with others. We need to be accepted into their social circle. So if we want to understand from where did we get that mindset, just remember that this happened long, long ago, from actually the Stone Age, from the time where we were in tribes, where we were cavemen, where we were hunters, okay? So back then, in those days, it was very important for us to belong in a tribe. And one of the worst things that can happen to you as a tribe member is for the tribe leader to say that you are ostracized. You no longer belong in our tribe. And back then, when you are ostracized, it would mean that your chances of survival is much lesser. So what evolutionary psychologists believe is that human beings from those days right up to now, our brain has created this alarm signal. So whenever we feel that we are about to be rejected, or when we are rejected, that alarm kicks in, and usually what we feel as a result of that is that rejection sometimes causes a little bit of anxiety. Sometimes it causes a little bit of sadness. Sometimes it causes a little bit of jealousy. Sometimes you just have all these emotions and you don't know how quite to place it, and we usually label it wrongly. But what really has just happened is it's that minor case of rejection. And the scary part here is rejection temporarily lowers your IQ. So decisions that are made from a rejection may not always be the best decision. So that is another challenge that we sometimes have, right? So the decision you make at that moment of rejection may not always lead to the best response that you want. So this is why it's very important to understand where we get that feeling from, where our friend or other people may behave the way they behave. And please understand that social and emotional intelligence in people has evolved a long way, right? So from the Stone Age right up to today, we have truly evolved. So there is no excuse to say that, oh, I behaved that way because I was rejected. No, it simply means that you understand that emotion and you know that you should have enough social and emotional intelligence on how to move on, how to evaluate, how to rationalize a situation. So that's the reason why we need to understand what a rejection is and how people act sometimes and how sometimes this hinders getting along. Okay? So moving on, now we want to understand why people hesitate. Why people hesitate to get along. Why people hesitate to solve conflict. So if earlier we were speaking about why people didn't get along or why people were unreasonable, why other people were unreasonable, now let's talk about ourselves. Why don't we get along? Why don't we take that first step? So to the 75 of you who are here, please put it down in the chat. Why don't we take the first step towards getting along? If you don't. If you are the kind who always does, then fantastic. So why don't we get along? Yeah, sometimes we are scared. Oh my God, what would they think? Yeah, fear. You don't want confrontation. What if they say this in public? What if they embarrass me? Good. What are the reasons? Very good. Further rejection, comfort zone. Yeah, don't want to invite trouble, fear of being rejected again. Very nice, right? So there are a few reasons. Avoid, yeah, you don't need the person in your life. So there are multiple reasons, right? And if I were to share with you and add on to what you guys have said, guess what? The reasons are pretty much the same, isn't it? It's pretty much the same reason. So whatever reasons that you have mentioned earlier on why other people can become unreasonable, the reasons are pretty much the same for us as well on why we sometimes choose not to get along, which you can see over here. Now, there could be many reasons why something has happened. There could be many reasons why there has been a certain confrontation with people or a certain level of misunderstanding. And what you can see on the screen is certain examples. What you need to also, what I want to make as a disclaimer is, do we want certain relationships? So for some of you who think like, hey, you know what? I don't want this relationship in my life. Fantastic. If you have already made that decision, for example, that relationship is toxic. For example, it's unproductive. For example, that person may have a certain situation where they are a troubled personality, where in most cases they have caused you more grief than anything else. So do you even want to keep that relationship? If your answer is no, sure. What we want to know is if you have decided this relationship is not good for me, all we want to do is let it go, right? So a lot of times what I do in my coaching or during my training, I tell my participants, make peace with that situation, take the learning from that situation. That's very important, right? Take the learning from that situation and let it go. Okay, so some of you may say, but what if this is a situation I cannot let go? What if I am working with this person? What if this person is my boss? What if this person is my colleague? What if this person is a family member and I need to see them over and over again, right? So what happens if that is the situation? Now, that is why we need this webinar today, because that is why we need to understand that perhaps we could use some tips, some techniques on how we can get along with people, although they may be a little challenging in their personality, in the situation. What can we do to find some techniques to get along with them? So remember, once again, for those who just joined, when I say get along here, it doesn't mean agree with them 100%. It doesn't mean to love them and care for them. It means our ability to be cordial to achieve our mutual objectives. Okay? So now comes the part 2, where I talk to you about why should you get along? Why should you get along? Why is it important to get along? Okay? So there is one reason, the first reason you want to get along is always to remember that you may be a leader in your organization. You may be a leader in your family. You may be a role model. Maybe your siblings look up to you. And remember that how you deal with people, you are constantly being observed by this group of people who look up to you. And if they notice that you constantly have issues with people, they will start to believe that that is the way to deal with people, and that is okay. If you have children who are observing you as their parents, and if you're constantly talking about someone and saying why you don't get along with someone, they will grow up with that mental mapping that it's okay to be that way. And do we really want to create that impact on a child or an adult alike? If you have 100 relationships in your life, and out of that 100 relationships, you have 1 or 2 relationships that doesn't go so well, it's quite natural. But if you have 100 relationships in your life and 50 or 60% of time you are getting into trouble with someone, then maybe it's something we need to evaluate, like, could I be looking inward to see if there's any area for me to improve, right? So that is reason number 1, which kind of leads into reason number 2, because it comes down to your personal branding. Who are you? What kind of a person you are? How do you want to be? So this is based on person's value. There's no right or wrong. There's no one way of doing it. It comes down to a person's value. How do they want to be remembered in this world when your days are up? How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as the person who is bright, the person who is kind, the person who made an effort, who had good quality relationships? Or do you want to be remembered as the troublemaker, the person who doesn't get along, the person who constantly in conflict with someone? So for me, it relates a lot to a person's personal branding. What is their branding? What is your branding? What have you decided for yourself? So it's very personal. Reason number 3, which for me is the greatest reason of all, is it ties in directly to your physical and mental health. So those of you here who are my past participants, those of you who was in the previous webinar, you will remember that I always speak about neurotransmitters, right? And I also always speak about how what we think has a direct impact on our health, right? So imagine every time the thoughts that we have about something is negative, every time we are thinking ill about someone or a certain situation, remember, you are not just thinking, you are now transmitting that energy to every cell of your body. And as you are doing that, you are directly impacting your overall health, right? So that is reason number 3. Reason number 4. You guys are still with me, right? Reason number 4. Listen carefully. Life is short. Life is so short. We really don't need drama. I think everyone is busy. Everyone has things to do. Everyone want to go out and create a difference to the world. Everyone wants to excel in their role. We have so much to do and achieve in life. Life is short. We don't need that unnecessary drama. In fact, you may want to change the thinking and start thinking, how do I create an impact in this world? How do I leave my footprint in the hearts of people? So for me, that is reason number 4. Life is so short. Let's not invest our time in things which I consider to be quite unnecessary, all right? So those are the 4 reasons on why we should take effort to get along. You don't have to agree with all my 4 reasons, but reason number 3, the impact that you create in your physical and mental health, I really wish you will take that very, very seriously, because it is real and it has been proven over and over again in the field of neuroscience, all right? So this brings me to the first poll of today. Okay, and I asked this question on my Facebook page. I had some responses. I'm going to ask again now, because now we have about 77 participants. And I want to ask you, can you get along with everyone? Don't answer in the chat box yet. Don't answer yet. Remember, when I say get along, once again, for the 3rd time today, I am recapping. When I say get along with everyone, doesn't mean you need to love them. Doesn't mean you need to agree with them. It just means that you can be cordial with them to get the relationship going. So for that question, I'm going to launch the poll. Give me a second. And you would see it on your screen about now. And once you see it on your screen, please just put in yes or no. Please just put in yes or no. There is no right or wrong answer. It is your answer. It is the way you look at life. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, I'll give you guys a few more seconds. Okay, so I'm about to end the poll and I will launch the results for you. So I hope you can see this on your screen. All right, which means here, guys, we have a pretty interesting result. 59%. 59%, that's almost 60% lah. 60% of you feel that you can get along with everyone, and 40% feel that you may not be able to get along with everyone, which is cool, which is fine, all right? So, now, remember, when I did this poll, it's not about right or wrong. It's not about who is right, who is wrong, nothing like that. The reason we did this poll is very simply to get an understanding of where your mindset is. Where are you at? So remember this, guys. I want to introduce you to this concept known as perception is projection. What does it mean by perception is projection? The easiest way I can share this with you is if I tell you a very quick story on a study which was done a few decades ago. So what happened was they took a bunch of students and they took the students to a teacher. They told the teacher that these students are almost dropping out. These students are not too intelligent. These students have trouble remembering. So they gave the teacher and said, hey, you know what? Do the best you can with them. Just see what can you create with them. So the teachers took these students and kind of did whatever they could to produce results. At the end of the term, these students got C's and D's. That was their grades, C's and D's. The very next semester, they took these students to another teacher and they said that, hey, you know what? These students are the cream of the crop. These students are highly intelligent. These students have potential really out of the box. So let's see whether you can manage them and let's see how you can produce results with them. So now the ownership's on the teachers, like, wow, these are really intelligent students. That's how the teacher looked at them, like really intelligent students, right? And at the end of the semester, the students got A's and B's. Now, how did that happen? Students were the same. Nothing changed. It was the perception. It was the belief system that we have towards a situation. Now, I'm going to just put this down to you guys. If you choose to believe that you can get along with people, if that is your belief system, you will get along with people. If you have chosen to believe that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to get along with people. There are people that I do want to get along with. I choose not to. Perfectly fine. That is your belief system. But remember that that belief system may hinder your progress in getting along with other people. And if you are okay with that, that is cool. Allow me to share a little bit of my personal experience because it is very natural. It is very natural for us to sometimes feel like we don't get along with people so much, right? And I used to hold on to that belief for the longest time in my life. And when I first became a trainer, and most importantly, when I did become a coach, coaching people one-to-one, I used to sometimes look at a client and be like, oh, this client, it's really, don't know what this fellow is thinking. And I used to have those thoughts. And luckily, I stopped myself very quickly. I stopped myself very quickly and I thought about it and I thought, like, if this is how I'm going to think about that person, now how am I going to get progress out of them? How am I going to create change if I already believe that about these people? And that is when I created an affirmation for myself, which is I can get along with everyone. And I truly believed in that till this very second. I truly believe that I can get along with anyone, even the toughest of personalities, because I believe in this, which is another question I'm going to ask you guys, okay? Do you believe that there is a piece of goodness in everybody, okay? Do you believe that there is a piece of goodness in everybody? Once again, I want to do this in a form of a poll. So you would see this poll on your screen right now. Please vote for me. Do you see a piece of goodness in everybody? So if your answer is yes, it's a yes. If your answer is a no, it's a no. No right, no wrong. It's how you choose to look at it. In the interest of time, I'm not going to leave this poll up for too long. I'm going to end the poll now and I'm going to show you the results. Are you ready for the results, guys? Here you go. So 97% of you believe that there is a piece of goodness in people. You know how beautiful that is? 97% of you have faith in humanity, have faith in mankind. 97% of you choose this belief. And for any reason, the balance of you have a different view. That is also okay. It really, really doesn't matter. It's your belief system and we will all respect it. Okay? Now, whenever we speak about people and the goodness in people, I just want you to think about certain situation. So there are some situations where people don't like a certain person, but somehow you get along well with these people. I don't know whether you guys have had experience like that. Like everyone feels like, oh, this character is very challenging, this person is very difficult, but somehow you seem to get along well with that person. Have you had that experience? If you have, please put yes in the chat box. Or you may have had the situation where this particular person does not get along well with the rest, but somehow they like you. Somehow they keep coming to you. Somehow they keep wanting to talk to you, right? I'm sure some of you may have had the experience also. Please put down yes. And you somehow, some way, have this ability to see the strength or the goodness in someone, but that someone has a bad reputation. Maybe they are the bad boy or the bad girl in certain situations, right? But you always defend them. And you will be always the one who stands there and says, hey, you know what? This person may be very vocal, but they have a good heart. This person may be speaking their mind very brashly, but what they say has a certain meaning. This person may be doing that, maybe because they have too much of love for other individuals or other situations. So you may be standing there as the person who really defends this other person. Now, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are any one of these three criteria, you have ample goodness in your heart. You need to give yourself a pat in the back right now because you are truly special. And that is exactly why you are here today, because that's what brought you to this topic. Because you have that interest to get along, right? If you never had that interest to get along, you won't even be here because you'll be like, I don't want to get along with people. But you have an interest and that's why you are here, okay? So now let's get down to the crux of the matter, which is the art of getting along. How to get along, okay? So this is the thing. Now, all the tips that I'm sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen, it is practical. It is based on my real life experiences working with people over the last 14 years. So as you hear it, you'll be like, whoa, really? Really, does it matter? Once again, you may agree, you may disagree, whatever the reason is. But please remember, these are concrete suggestions, okay? So technique number one, tip number one that I want to share with you is choose your mode of communication. What does this mean? Have you had the situation where someone sends you a sarcastic email? Have you had the situation where in a public WhatsApp group where there are few people, this person says something not so nice about you? Have you been in the situation where someone sends you a text which doesn't sound so nice, may sound negative, may sound accusatory, whatever it is, right? Now, what happens for most of us, let me go back to that email example, right? The email example would be like, that person sends you a sarcastic email and you get all triggered when you read it and we respond as sarcastic as possible. Still professional, still trying to be professional so that you can tell other people that you're professional, but you will embed some sarcasm. There will be some small insinuation and that makes you feel good, right? And then that person receives your email, right? And when that person receives your email, I see you are being sarcastic. Huh? So they will now respond equally, if not 20% higher level of sarcasm. Plus, to make it even more interesting, they will CC their boss and probably half the world with it. And then you will think, wow, you think that you can CC, you know my contacts, you know how many people behind me, and then you will CC half the organization. And now you know what happens? What started from one small misunderstanding or reading differently creates a full-blown conflict in front of the entire organization. And who wins is basically who has the last word. But what happens at the end of it is both of them will have their personal branding damaged, completely damaged, because people who are looking at it are going to read into it and say like, come on, why are these people being children, right? So in situations like this, guys, the easiest tip that I can give you is, if in the virtual world you are reading something that you don't like, pick up the telephone and make a phone call. Like, hey, I got your email and it said something like this. Is everything okay? Is there something you want to clarify? Is there something you want to talk about? Okay, this is a mouse, but you know what I mean, telephone. Pick up something and talk about it so that you are able to get a clearer understanding. What is stopping us from doing that? Habit, ego, just routine. But just that one small change makes a huge difference, because please remember this, in virtual communication, we cannot hear the person's voice. We don't know their tone of voice. So what happens is, we use the assumption, which is our tone of voice, and we assume what their tone of voice is. We can't see their expression. We don't know what they're feeling. We don't know what they're saying. We don't know how they're saying is. We don't know what led them to even say that. And we don't have all this information. We only have a measly less than 5% of information based on their words. And that is why my humble suggestion is, try to make a phone call. If you can't get a phone call, go to the best option, which is always a face-to-face communication. Speak to someone face-to-face. If they are working in the same organization as you, walk over, speak to them. If it's someone, a friend, get together, speak to them. Only if that is not possible. If you guys are working from home, the phone is always available. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is acceptance versus judgment. Now, tell me again, who are we to judge someone else's life choices? Who are we to judge someone else's moral standards, which may not be ours? Who are we to judge someone else's mistakes and blunders when we ourselves have weakness, when we ourselves have made mistakes? Who are we? We truly aren't in a position to judge anybody. So if we can just shift this judgment to understanding, this judgment to acceptance. Remember the video you guys saw earlier? Everything would make sense. Be kind. Be kind. And let me give you a very simple example. Sometimes you are sitting in a group, you guys are having a discussion, and let's say the discussion somehow goes into a very sensitive topic. Let's say you guys speak about a topic, and then you very strongly have a certain opinion. Your friend, on the other hand, very strongly has his or her certain opinion, and then somehow you guys go loggerheads because you have his opinion, you have your opinion, he or she has their opinion, and you guys kind of come into a conflict. That is natural. Healthy discussions are always cool, but sometimes ego gets in the play. Who has the last word? Who is loudest? Who is correct? What's the need for that? You have your opinion, cool. I have my opinion, cool. Let's agree to disagree. My favorite sentence to use when I disagree with someone, or when I find like, I give you a tip. I always say, oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Now you all know my trick already. But usually I will say that when I'm like, okay, you have your opinion. That's okay, that's interesting, right? I mean, just say that and move on. Move on to something else. We have better things to do. So that is tip number 2 for you, acceptance versus judgment. Tip number 3, very simple, very easy, safeguard your mind, which simply means lesser gossip, more relationship building activities. Lesser gossip and more relationship building activities. Now, gossip is pretty cool. Gossip is fun. Gossip is something that brings 2 or 3 or more people together because it's us against the next person. Yeah, okay, whatever. I do it also sometimes, so I am not perfect, okay? But this is the difference. There is a difference between a little fun gossip versus toxic gossip, where all you do in a day is sit down and talk about the person. Now, that is something we don't want. Secondly, we don't want to spread information that you don't know is true. You don't want to spread negativity, because remember, forget about the impact it creates on other people. Think about the impact that it's creating on you, because most of the time we don't even verify certain situation. We hear it from one person, we claim that that person is a trusted source, and we accept that information. But go and speak to a few other people, and all of a sudden you will have a completely different view of the situation. So be very careful about how we choose to engage in this very dangerous game of gossips. The best thing to do is stay away from it lah. You know, we don't really need it so much anymore. Do something better, okay? And of course, the next thing is rapport, building rapport. Now, I want to speak to those of you who are introverts. Those of you who are shy. Those of you when there's like a room full of a lot of people, you go in and you feel like, oh, you know, you're so uncomfortable. How many of you are introverts? Please type shy in the chat box. Please type shy in the chat box. If you are an introvert, you feel you are an introvert in most situations, a bit shy. Yeah, those of you who are shy, put it down there. You feel that, you know, you get a little bit uncomfortable. You don't like being the center of attention. If there is a choice, you want to not go in or you want to go in last, you know. So yeah, so a lot of shy there, right? So a lot of times people think that relationship building is for extroverts. Extroverts create better relationships. In fact, if you guys go and study this, the opposite sometimes may be true. Introverts are able to create quality relationships. Sometimes they have the heart, the kindness for it, but maybe they don't know how, okay? So when you think about this situation, how do you create relationships? How do we create nice new relationships or existing relationships? I'm going to give you some tips here. So let's go back to the working world or even real life, right? So in the working world, sometimes we are so busy getting our work done. You notice that a lot of emails sound overly official. Now, think about this, guys. When you send emails, your mind is full of work. And for you, it's like, as long as I shoot off these emails, I'm getting work done. But remember, the person you're sending that email to is another human being. And human beings are very driven by the emotion. So what we really need to do is slot in a little something here and there. A simple how are you? A simple thank you so much for sending this to me last week. It really helped me move my work along. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you've been doing great. Simple things. Thanking them, complimenting them on a job well done. Especially if the email is sent to a few different people, it's excellent for you to compliment people because nothing is a better motivation than validation. So if you are in that position to be able to do that, I'm sure everybody can. Those are little tips that we can do to make people feel better. Genuine compliments. We don't have to be fake with the compliments. Be really genuine with the compliments. In personal relationships, it's really important to check in. And if you feel that you have a group of friends and all of a sudden there's this particular friend who dropped off the radar a little bit, it's always nice to be that person who send them a quick text. In today's world, technology has made it so easy to communicate with other people, right? So send them a quick text to say, how are you? You know, how have you been doing? And just get in touch. And who knows, that person may be at a really rough spot, but your text may have put a smile on their face. Your text may have lifted them up. I think in today's world, we have heard so much of tragedy around people who take drastic actions simply because they felt they had no one in this world. And if there's one small bit of kindness that we can do, is to make people feel they matter, make people feel heard. And if all it takes is a text or a phone call, why not just do it, right? So that is tip number 4. Now, coming to the final tip for today, okay? The final tip is one of the most productive ones, which I feel is going to be very useful for some of you. All we want to do is sometimes we get into a small argument. No big deal. If that happens, seriously, no big deal. But what we want to do is kind of understand how do we shift from argument to discussion? How do we make it from destructive to constructive, okay? So this is my suggestion on what you can do. First things first, you want to ask powerful questions. You want to ask powerful questions. You want to shift the entire feel of the argument. But let's be realistic. When we are already engaging in an argument, our emotions are all over the place. Some of us may be really upset, especially if it's personal, right? If it's between a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, family, best friend. Sometimes it gets very heated because there's a lot of love involved. So love, right? Love is a very powerful emotion. So sometimes when there's a lot of love involved, we argue harder. We fight harder, right? So when this happens, it's very important. If you really want to choose being constructive, take a step back. This is where you really need to take a step back. And for me, what works, personally, what works is a time out. I always take a time out because I know I am not going to be able to be constructive. I may end up becoming destructive in a conversation. So what I choose to do is take a time out, and I will probably, if to give you an example, when I'm arguing with my husband, I'll always say, just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. And I come out of the situation. I am not somewhere where I can see him. I'm not somewhere where I can talk to him and be with him, because at that moment, I want to strangle him, right? I want to strangle him. So imagine trying to be constructive when I'm trying to strangle someone. So we don't want that. So break away, take your 10 minutes. Some of you may need 15 minutes. Some of you may need half an hour. Take all the time you need, because you rather have that time than saying words which are so hurtful that you can't take back and live with that guilt for the rest of your life. So what kind of powerful questions you can ask? So now, this is something that I use. So whatever I'm sharing with you is something that works for me, and I hope it works for you. So one thing I'll always ask whoever I'm disagreeing with is like, can you explain how this has created a certain emotion for you? Can you explain how this really matters right now? Can you tell me your perspective? So remember, guys, when you are asking these questions, be careful of your tone of voice. Okay, be very careful of your tone of voice. You do not want to say that, explain to me lah, tell me how. Now that's going to lead you greater into a bigger fight, right? So you want to explain or use those questions nicely. What do you believe is important in this situation? What do we need to do to move forward? What are you feeling right now? What is it that what can I do to make the situation better right now? Do you see the kind of questions we are asking? Will it be comfortable for you if? Will it work better for you if, right? Now, do you notice there's one word in common in all these sentences that I have used the term you, the word you a lot? When you use you, that person who is listening to you feels that he or she has been listened to. When we say you, it means that now I am giving you priority. What happens in a lot of arguments is we tend to say, I feel this, I think that. But the moment you change the question and you shift it to a you, now that person becomes priority. That person starts to feel heard, right? Heard, okay? So if all this happens and you still feel that that person still can't come up to a solution, you can't come up with a solution, the easiest temporary solution is let's agree to disagree, and maybe we will revisit this topic next week when we both have had some perspective, when we both have truly cooled down about it. So let's be realistic, because that may happen. You can try all these tools and techniques, and sometimes that may happen. And when that does happen, at least you know you have an exit strategy, which is let's agree to disagree. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the learnings that you have had for today. And so far we have covered a lot. We have covered why people get unreasonable, what are the effects of rejection. Some of you have understood rejection, most likely for the first time today. Why is it important to make that effort and the common reasons? And also we have covered 5 tips for you. And remember, you need not take all the tips. Maybe all may not work for you, but if you can create that small change, for example, you can change your mode of communication. So instead of being someone so electronic all the while, maybe now you just invest time on picking up the phone and having a conversation. And you realize that that creates a great change. Your 1 hour investment of this webinar has been fully worth it, right? So please allow me to also share with you something very special which I have been designing over the last 3 years. The truth of the matter was, I never dared to launch it because it takes a lot of time and effort from our team. Given the situation and everything that has happened over the last few months, I truly believed that the time is right. So for the very first time, we are launching a program known as Box Elite Transformers, which is known as BET. Okay, so if you're wondering what is this program all about, we have 4 major components in this program, and we basically took this based on feedback from all our existing participants. What are areas that really concerns them? So we noticed that majority of people want to be able to create a mindset that is so strong that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. They can deal with people out there. A part of this program also speaks on work-life balance. We are all so busy, right? But you still want to be able to find time for yourself. Invest some time into your development. Invest time into doing that hobbies that you always wanted to do. Some of you have a goal, right? How many of you here have a goal? Please just type goal in the chat box. How many of you have a goal? You want to achieve something in your life. You want to get something in your life. That's a big one. Yeah, so all of us have a goal. And you know what? Sometimes you just need a little bit of a push factor. Sometimes you need a little bit of professional assistance. Sometimes you need someone to just have your back and say like, hey, you know what? Go for it. I got you. So for those of you who have a goal and you want that little bit of push to achieve that goal, or some of you may be very concerned, some of you may be very interested in the topic of health and fitness. So you're very interested on empowering yourself. You want to step into 2021 feeling good about yourself. So whether that's just being healthy, whether that is eating healthy, whether that is losing weight and feeling good about yourself, all this is going to be covered in this program. And for the health and fitness bit, as much as I wish I can also conduct that part, but there's only so much I can do. So for this bit, we are actually inviting a special expert, someone who was willing to work with us with the box training exclusively, and that is Dr. Asad. Now, Dr. Asad is someone who has changed my perspective in so many ways. The way I have looked at health and fitness has completely changed after I met this wonderful man, and he has agreed to come on board with this program and carefully nurture. So one part of the program, he's going to take charge of it, and he is going to give you guys a lot of advice, a lot of tips and tricks. And what I love about Dr. Asad is he keeps it simple. His ideas, his suggestions, he creates goals for us which are easily achievable. It's not so drastic. It's not so difficult to do. And that was the reason why I started to be very drawn to his ideas. Although I have a few people in mind that I believe will be useful for this segment, I think no one comes closer than to him when it comes to an area like this. So he is really fun, he is funny, he is exciting, and he is brutally honest. So if you want to deal with him, you will have to take a lot of his honest feedback as well. But he will help you create results, and that is Dr. Asad. And some of you may be wondering, hey Sri, I'm really interested in this program, but I'm a working adult, I have this, I have that, I don't know if I can commit. Now the good news for you guys is, number one, this program will be fully conducted online. It's a full online program, which basically means you can log in from wherever you are. This program will be conducted on Saturdays, which means that if you are bogged down with work, you don't have to worry about taking time off work to attend the program. It's happening on a Saturday. And some of you will be like, oh, Saturday I'm busy. I have to send my kid here, send my kid there. That's okay. Be logged on with us wherever you are. Or you may have something really on that day and you can't log on into the Zoom session. That is okay. We will send you the recording of that session, so you don't have to miss a single thing. Now, how is this program created? We will be starting in August. So for the 4 Saturdays in August, we will be having our Zoom sessions where this is where you will be getting information from me. You will be getting information from Dr. Asad. I believe Dr. Asad will be coming somewhere on the 22nd of August. I'm yet to finalize that with him. So these 4 sessions, which will be on a Saturday, will be conducted online. And right after that, usually everything ends, right? After a program, everything ends and you go on with your life. And that's where a lot of people want to implement and they struggle a little bit. Like, oh, I want to implement, but I struggle. But remember, whoever signs up for this program, we create that team. It's like a brother-sisterhood that will be going on. So we will be actually cheering each other on. So we will be connected through a WhatsApp group. And after that, 1 month once, we will continue our journey together where we will have a group coaching session. So we still log in again and we still touch base and see where everyone is. And finally, once you are almost nearing your goal already. So in December, we will meet one last time for a graduation. Okay, we'll have a graduation session where some of you may already have met your goal. Some of you will maybe 20-30% into your goal, but you're already there. Doesn't matter. It's not about achieving your goal by then. You have reached a point of transformation that you feel that you are ready, you are set, and you are primed for 2021 and many more years to come. Okay, and that's happening in December. So what are you going to get out of this program? Right after you sign up, in July, we will be sending you a welcome pack because I feel this program is going to be conducted online. Sometimes we want to have a sense of reality. We want to touch and feel something, right? Some of us are quite kinesthetic. So we will be sending you your workbook to your mailing address. So we'll be couriering the workbook to you. And you will have lifelong support from your teammates whom you are connected with. You will have your lifelong support, not just from your teammates, also from us. At the Box team, you will always have our support for the rest of your journey. So it doesn't mean that our relationship is over in December. It's going to be continuing for a long time to come. And also at the graduation ceremony, we'll be giving out several awards. So some of you here have won my awards before. So it's just gotten more and more special. So we have award for most transformed. We will have award for most hardworking. We will have award for most supportive. We will have several awards for you to win, which will be decided by us. And some of you may be wondering like, okay, this sounds awesome. I need to know what works. I need to know how much it is, right? So let me tell you that although it makes logical business sense to open this up to as many people as possible, what we are doing is we are capping it to 30 packs only, okay? So we actually plan to launch this officially in January 2021. That's going to be our official launch. But today I decided to try it as a soft launch. So for the very first time today, I gathered my strength to go ahead and try a soft launch. So official launch will be in January, and the investment fee at that point is 1,588 for those who are joining us in January, because that will be the full launch. Today though, what we wanted to do is give you something special. So for today, we are giving you a special rate of 1,288. So that's a special rate for those who are signing up. Now, what about you guys? What about you guys who are here today, who invested 1 hour of your time to be with us, to learn a little bit about this topic? Now, for you, we are giving a much lucrative rate, which is 880 only, all right, for the entire journey of August right up to December, except your graduation, you need to pay a little bit lah. Graduation, you need to pay a little bit. So that will be your final, that will be your payment for starting from August right up to December, and that is what we have planned for you so far, okay? So for those of you who are interested, feel free to contact us. For those of you who feel like I'm not ready for this transformation yet, that is okay. I truly hope that you benefited from this session. And of course, this rate of 880 applies for the next 1 week. So we know who our serious people are, and so we can get started. We can get started with preparing for the program. Okay, so register by 2nd July, which is next Friday, and you will be eligible for this particular session. So I see a very good question from Molly. How many hours per session? Every Zoom session is for an hour. We have scheduled an hour. We are always ready to open up an additional half an hour or hour based on the questions that you have. Thank you for your questions, Molly. So 1 hour session, likewise for our group coaching session. And of course, it is not just that hour. It is generally going to be for a long time. It's a continuous process, okay? So right up till December 2020. Now, just to quickly recap, guys, this is all you will be receiving. You're going to be getting highly transformative content. You're going to be having our support from August till December 2020. You're going to be getting hard copy workbooks, a recording of the session. You're going to get expert briefings and support, a flexible learning journey, so you're not fixed into it. And you're going to get our team support. And also, finally, we're going to celebrate just before the new year comes with our awards and our graduation day. So that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. I hope you really benefited from this session. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Feel free to type out your questions in the chat box. For those of you who are pretty much done, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you soon. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome Friday. Bye bye.
Type in the chat group. Type in the chat group. Why is she not? I think she cannot see.
To be lost on the way.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. So we'll be logging off this session. It's awesome to see all of you. Thank you so much. And till we meet again soon. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.